Yo, what's up, guys? A very interesting game today between Milan and Roma, but they both split a point each, tying the game 1-1, guys. Now, guys, I feel this was a fair result today. Milan and Roma drawing 1-1. Even though Roma did have a lot of possession, had way more threatening opportunities in this game, guys. We're the better team majority of this game. Milan are also a little bit lucky to be able to squeak out of Rome with a point, because Roma were absolutely fantastic in that first half, guys. Roma were pressuring, dominating possession. They had an early chance, like 15 seconds in, with their new acquisition, Daniel Milan from Aston Villa, of course. You obviously had a goal against Torino, starting in the game today against Milan, and he was obviously threatening a lot today in this game. He had like 3 separate opportunities today against Milan. Mike Maignan, who's obviously close to coming to a contract extension. The deal's obviously already done. They just have to sign the contract. He was absolutely immense again today for Milan, especially in the first half. Makes a great save on Manu Kone, makes a phenomenal save on Zeki Celik, a cat-like reflex save on him, near the end of the first half there. Maignan was able to cut off a couple passes inside the net, inside the 18-yard box there, guys, to prevent any cross passes there. So Maignan did a very good job keeping it at 0-0, bailed up Milan multiple times in that first half, and obviously Milan's game, guys, we obviously know with Allegri ball, Milan will sit back, absorb pressure. I will give them credit, though. Milan were compact. They were cohesive, really tight defensively in that first half. I thought they did a really good job clearing out any threatening balls. We're in the right positions. Of course, you got guys like Luka Modric at 40 years old, diving in front of guys, blocking shots, blocking passes. He's done incredible things this year for Milan, Luka Modric. Now, obviously, like I mentioned, it wasn't the best half for Milan. Leao and Nkunku, who were starting up top, didn't get much service up top. Milan obviously didn't have a lot of possession in the first half, guys. Were, like I said, sitting back a lot. Didn't really threaten Roma's net at all. It was a really frustrating for Milan, when it came to building up and finding opportunities to get chances on net. It was majority of it was Roma attacking and them getting opportunities, and Milan was just sitting back, absorbing pressure and doing a very good job defensively. Milan were lucky not to go down 1-0 in that first half, guys. To keep it at 0-0 at halftime, they were just barely hanging on by a thread to get to halftime. And then we saw Allegri subbing out Salamakers, who I felt needed to get subbed out. Salamakers has obviously been playing a lot of cultural this year. Barely sits. Athakami, it's very evident that Allegri does not trust him, but Max Allegri has to start playing this kid more, because Alexis Salamakers is clearly drained. He looks tired at times. His performances have dipped a bit because of the fatigue that he's been dealing with, of course. I think Allegri needs to give Athakami some minutes. He should be playing him against the smaller clubs like Lecce, like all these, Pisa, just to name a few teams, for example. He's got to start playing this kid more, giving him some more opportunities, because there were some moments that he did look a little bit nervous, a bit shaky. Athakami in this game did get a yellow card for pulling Wesley in this game, did overcommit a few times in this game as well. So the kid just has to get acclimatized to Serie and get game time. Allegri's got to play him a bit more, if you ask me, but I thought he held his own in this game a little bit. But I thought Milan, guys, in the first 15 minutes to 20 minutes in the second half, we were the better team. Yeah, I thought we started dominating possession a little bit. We started dictating play. We started moving forward a little bit. We were starting to gain a little bit of confidence in the final third. Had some opportunities. Of course, Rabiot had a chance. Zvilar made a save. And then after, we saw Ndika make a mistake, because Christopher Nkunku did a very good job pressuring him. Ndika tries to make the pass to Zvilar. Unfortunately for him, it goes out of bounds. And then Milan are lucky enough to pounce on the opportunity there, with Bartosagi giving the ball to Modric there. And Modric puts in a peach of a ball to Coney De Winter, who's able to get ahead on it to make it 1-0 for Milan. And listen, guys, I'll be blunt with you, and I'll keep it a buck with you. I have been very hard on Coney De Winter this year, because he has not played well. The Super Cup game against Napoli, I thought he was horrendous. Obviously didn't get a lot of game time, didn't play a lot of minutes, so obviously he looked shaky at times, looked nervous, so it's understandable. But I will say this, the last string of games that Coney De Winter has played in replacing Strahinja Pavlovic, because Pavlovic had 9 stitches on his eyebrow, Coney De Winter has come in, and I think he's done a very good job replacing Pavlovic on that left side of the defense. I think he's been very solid. Had a solid game again today as well. And he gets that goal there, which obviously is going to bring up his confidence even more. And I think he's been playing some good culture the last 3 to 4 games. I think he's been very solid, and I'm going to give him credit. And I think he's played very well after coming off these last couple months where he has not been playing well. These last 2 games, I've been quite surprised at how well he's been playing, and give him credit, to get a goal in this game here. Played solid again today. I think he's been playing solid, guys. So good on Coney DeWinter to not let that affect him. Play some good culture as of late. And I thought he played a really solid game today, guys. And for Milan to take the 1-0 lead, I'm thinking to myself, my God, this game was starting to remind me of the Como game. Dominating possession Roma was, just like Como. Milan get a goal. They start getting lucky a little bit. They get another one. And then we were able to squeak away with the 3 points in that Como game. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case today in this game today, guys. Unfortunately, Milan were dominating the game a little bit in the second half. Roma have a little bit of possession in the second half before they started dominating again. They get the ball in on a cross, and Davide Bartasaghi, kid. Buddy. Davide Bartasaghi, man. That's the second time now, kid, in the last 5 games that you've committed a dumb penalty, okay? Bartasaghi, as we recall, had that horrendous penalty against Genoa, where luckily enough, Stanchu missed it. He kicked it over the net there. Then today, Bartasaghi, man, you got to play that ball a little bit better, kid, okay? I don't know why he's trying to let the ball go out of play. There was a lot of space before that ball got out of play, and he does not see his surroundings. The kid needs to see his surroundings, see where Zeki Celik is, doesn't see where he is. Unfortunately, Celik's able to get in behind him, get his foot in front of him, and that ball, unfortunately, kicks right off his hand, and it's a Rigore, as we saw. But listen, guys, Bartasaghi's been great this year. I have nothing against the kid. He's so young. He's got a lot to learn still, but that's a horrendous mistake by him. I'm not gonna knock him for it, but he's got to be better there. I'm not gonna say bench him, play a stupid. I'm not that stupid, okay? He made a bad mistake. It cost Milan 3 points today, but I still got nothing but confidence in the kid. I think the kid's a great young talent. Has shown that this year. Will continue to show that moving forward. But he's had a couple of bad incidences the last few weeks, to say the least. Then we obviously saw Pellegrini, who hasn't missed a penalty all year. We saw Magnan do it against Chanaloglu, but unfortunately this time Pellegrini takes a hard thumping penalty, makes it 1-1 for Roma. Roma went on to dominate the rest of the game, threatened Milan a little bit, but Milan did a good job again, defending, staying tight and cohesive, not letting Roma get that second goal. And we go on to split the points in this game, guys. So, obviously, like I said, fair result. Roma were the better team majority of this game. Had some more threatening chances, I do feel, in this game. Obviously, Leao and Nkunku didn't have the best game, didn't get a lot of service, wasn't their best match. Nothing to hate them for. It was one of those games, guys. Roma just dominated possession. Milan sat back, just like we've seen many times this season. They're not going to get service. They ain't going to produce. It's very simple. Those guys didn't do much. I thought Ricci played okay today. He wasn't amazing, wasn't horrible. Rabiot, same. Modric is Modric. Modric does what he does. The ball he puts into the Winter's goal, the sacrifices he makes defensively. The guy's a leader. The guy's a winner. We all know what Luka Modric is. Just a great player for Milan, guys. Just once again showing the quality of a player he is. I thought he had another good game today as well with that assist. And like I said, blocking a lot of chances, blocking a lot of passes, blocking shots as well. So Modric, again, was solid. I thought Tomori was okay. Gabbia and DeWinter were solid. It was just one simple mistake today by Bartasaghi that cost Milan 3 points today. If he doesn't make that mistake, Milan win this game today 1-0, guys. I am 100% convinced that they win this game 1-0 today if Bartasaghi does not make that mistake, guys. But it's an unfortunate situation, to say the least, guys. But like I said, Roma's a solid team this year. They got some solid players. They got Sule, Dybala. Obviously they bring in Milan on loan from Villa, of course. They got some solid players. Manu Kone going down really affected things for Roma. I feel Manu Kone is their best midfielder. There's no doubt about it. When that guy went down grabbing his hamstring, I said to myself, "Oh, that's a bit of a game changer right there." But luckily enough, Milan did not drop all 3 points. It is unfortunate that Inter do gain 2 more points on us. They got 52, we got 47. Listen, guys, at the end of the day here, we all know what's going to hurt Milan at the end of the season was all those drop points against smaller opponents. A draw in the Olimpico is not a horrendous result. We could have won today 1-0. We could have even lost as well today. But unfortunately, guys, the standings are only a reflection of Milan not getting business done against the smaller teams. Today's result would have been perfectly fine if we had just gotten our business done with the smaller teams. But I think we could all agree that Milan unfortunately had some blimps this season. It wasn't good enough at times in some games. This game wasn't amazing. Milan did not play great in this game. There were moments were very frustrating at times. Pulisic should have maybe came in a little bit earlier. Maybe he could have even started. Who knows? Maybe he's still dealing with a bit of a knock. Of course, Fulkrug, after scoring, came into the game today. Had one very good opportunity with the header. Unfortunately, just looped over the net there. Milan didn't have very many chances on Svilar today, but they did bury that one chance, like I mentioned, guys. Had a few other opportunities with the Rabiot shot, the Fulkrug header. There wasn't many chances for Milan today. Roma, like I said, guys, they were pressing high, really dictating play in this game today. I felt they did a lot of good things today. Roma, Milan were just able to hang on, able to find a way to get a point, guys. You got, I think we're playing Bologna next. That's a tough game as well. So Milan have a difficult game coming up with them as well, guys. You got to start getting more wins. Obviously coming up the win against Lecce, you got to continue to get wins, continue to secure a top 4 spot in Champions League. Listen, if Milan find a way to get back to first, great. Do I expect Milan to win the Scudetto this year? Obviously not. Inter already have a 5-point gap on us. It's going to take Inter to drop 2 games for Milan to have any opportunity to do that. But there's still a long way to go, guys. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the 3 points today. We're lucky to be able to get 1 point. A couple of mistakes that we made today, specifically Bartesaghi. Milan were lucky not to go down and lose this game today, guys. We'll take the point. We'll see how they do next game. Some decent performances today. Not the best performance today as a whole by the team in general, guys, but we were able to get a point, stay in second place. Juventus is creeping up now after beating Napoli today 3-0. So Milan have to continue to get wins, guys. Continue to stay in second place and secure that spot for Champions League next season. It's an unfortunate result today, but not the worst result to say the least, guys. But we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this match today, guys. So click like if you like this video, subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Forza Milan sempre, as always, guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Rock Unfiltered. Ciao, guys.